Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from New York stated on Saturday night that President Donald Trump's decision to strike 3 nuclear sites in Iran is a valid reason for impeachment. She became one of the first elected Democrats to advocate for this constitutional measure following the attack in the Middle East. On Sunday night, President Trump announced that the United States had achieved a spectacular military success in Iran by striking 3 nuclear facilities, including Fordo, which is located deep within a mountain south of Tehran. He warned that further strikes would be ordered if Iran did not engage in peace negotiations. While several House Democrats criticized Trump's strike as unconstitutional, Ocasio-Cortez went further by labeling the action as impeachable. She expressed her views on the social platform X, stating, "The president's disastrous decision to bomb Iran without authorization is a grave violation of the Constitution and congressional war powers. He has impulsively risked launching a war that may ensnare us for generations. It is absolutely and clearly grounds for impeachment." Article 1 of the Constitution grants Congress the authority to declare war, a significant power held by the legislative branch. However, in the past, presidents from both parties have conducted military strikes without congressional approval. Ocasio-Cortez argued that by striking Iranian nuclear facilities without authorization from lawmakers on Capitol Hill, the president violated the Constitution and congressional war powers. The strike occurred amid discussions in Washington about whether the U.S. should intervene in the Israel-Iran conflict, which intensified after Israel attacked Iranian nuclear sites in what it called a preemptive strike. This led to reciprocal attacks between the two countries in the Middle East. It remains uncertain whether Democrats will pursue impeachment against Trump following the strike on the Iranian nuclear facilities. However, any attempt would likely fail since Democrats are in the minority in both chambers. At least 2 House Republicans criticized Trump's strike. Representative Thomas Massie from Kentucky, who opposed U.S. intervention in the Israel-Iran conflict, stated on X, "This is not constitutional." Representative Warren Davidson from Ohio also expressed concerns, writing on X, "While President Trump's decision may prove just, it's hard to conceive a rationale that's constitutional. I look forward to his remarks tonight." House Democrats previously impeached Trump twice during his first term, once over allegations of pressuring Ukraine to investigate former President Joe Biden, and a second time following the January 6, 2021, attack on the Capitol. The Senate acquitted him on both occasions. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries from New York stated on Saturday night that Trump failed to seek congressional authorization for the use of military force, and emphasized that Congress must be fully and immediately briefed in a classified setting. However, he stopped short of mentioning the Constitution or impeachment. House Minority Whip Katherine Clark from Massachusetts also criticized Trump's decision to strike the nuclear facilities as unauthorized and unconstitutional. Republicans largely defended the strike. A White House official informed The Hill that Trump provided congressional leaders with a courtesy heads-up, and the White House asserted that Trump has the constitutional authority to strike Iran as commander-in-chief. Additionally, Speaker Mike Johnson from Louisiana appeared to counter Democratic criticism by arguing that the president respects the Constitution but needed to act swiftly. Johnson was briefed on the strike beforehand, according to a source familiar with the matter. "The president made the right call and did what he needed to do," Johnson wrote on X. "Leaders in Congress were aware of the urgency of this situation, and the commander-in-chief evaluated that the imminent danger outweighed the time it would take for Congress to act. The world's largest state sponsor of terrorism, which chants death to America, simply could not be allowed the opportunity to obtain and use nuclear weapons. The president fully respects the Article I power of Congress, and tonight's necessary, limited, and targeted strike follows the history and tradition of similar military actions under presidents of both parties," he added. At least one other House Democrat supported impeachment following the attack on Iran. Representative Sean Casten from Illinois stated that the strike was an unambiguous impeachable offense, while acknowledging the extreme unlikelihood of a Democratic minority impeaching a Republican president. This is not about the merits of Iran's nuclear program. No president has the authority to bomb another country that does not pose an imminent threat to the U.S. without the approval of Congress. This is an unambiguous impeachable offense, he wrote in a lengthy thread on X. I'm not saying we have the votes to impeach. I'm saying that you do not do this without congressional approval, and if Johnson doesn't grow a spine and learn to be a real boy tomorrow, we have a BFing problem that puts our very republic at risk. A final note of clarification. I am open to the idea that the U.S. should attack Iran, but I am not open to the idea that Congress cedes all authority to the executive branch, no matter how many lickspittle sycophants in the GOP argue to the contrary, he added.